So like somebody who's having like COPD, who like is like who's like down bad, like it's about to get real bad. You know what I'm saying? Like you could hear them wheezing from like across the room. They're like using axillary muscles to breathe and whatnot, kind of like that. And then you already know, like, I'm probably gonna have to put a CPAP on this guy, but we got to make sure that the blood pressure's good. I'm gonna start an IV because we might have to give him Medrol and then max sulfate, and then it's just like going down that list. And then once you give them all those medications and stuff, and then the symptoms start to decrease, they start to get a little bit better, their oxygen levels go up a little bit, you're like, okay, good, I'm going the right direction. But story time, man. I think it's one of the, when you use these skills at your job, and you're helping people, this is, you're seeing human beings, you're seeing how fragile the human life is, you're seeing how fragile like the body is. Like one thing can be off. Like, I mean, think about when you get sick, you go up like 1 degree, you could already feel a difference. You start feeling sinus pressure, headache, you start moving a little different, you're lost appetite, you become nauseous just thinking about food. You're like, yo, am I sick? And you're at like 99.5, and it's like, yo, you got a little low grade fever, but it's like just that. And then like 2 degrees off, you feel even worse. So the body's very like fragile, like, and it maintains homeostasis so well, but when that homeostasis is fucked with, it's like, that's where I come in and kind of fix a little bit. Again, I do a lot of stuff, but like, not as much as a doctor, but yeah. But the reason why I'm saying like the human life is so fragile and everything, and why these skills are so important, and one of the reasons why I love this job is that I'm always a firefighter and paramedic. I was joking earlier today saying like sometimes when I'm out with friends, and they do something stupid, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna jump off this balcony, or oh, I'm gonna run in front of this train, and be like, oh, don't worry, we got AJ, we good. And again, I be forgetting like, oh, I'm a firefighter paramedic outside this job. So it was 3 months ago in September. I was waking up or whatever, and my grandmother was staying with me. And usually my grandmother stays with my mom. She lives about 4 hours away. And, I was about to get up, go to the gym and stuff, and I was, getting ready, going out, and she was in the guest room. And all I could hear, I heard her call by name. She was like, Elijah, and I was just like, what in the world? So, open up the door, and she's just like laying on the ground, trying to get her pants up, and I'm kind of just like, Nana, like, what's wrong, and she has bad knees, she needs to get a knee replacement surgery, but she doesn't, which is fine, you know what I'm saying, but I noticed she falls sometimes due to her knee, so I was just like, what's wrong? She's telling me it's her knee, so I'm like, all right. So I'm like, all right, Nana, come on, like, stand up, so I'm helping her like stand up, but she's like keeps on falling back, and I'm like, Nana, come on, like, stand up. And she's just like, wait, hold on, okay, I'm okay. She's Jamaican, so I'm trying to get a little accent, but yeah, after that I'm just like, okay, she really can't stand up right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's not like bearing no weight on her legs. So I'm like, all right, Nana, hold on, all right. So then she's just like, I got a cramp, like there's a cramp in my leg. So I go and get the TheraWork. TheraWork is like what you rub on like muscle cramps and stuff. And she just like, go get the TheraWork. And I'm like, all right, Nana, go get the TheraWork. So she's saying her leg is cramping up on her. So, I get that. I help her rub it on her leg, like you rub on the TheraWork on there. So I get her the TheraWork, rub it on there and stuff, and she's just like, okay, so I'm trying to help her up again, and then I'm just like, what in the world, like, why can't you stand up, so at this point I was just like, F it, I'm gonna just pick her up and put her in a chair. So pulled up a chair, got up under her arms and just put her on the chair, and I was just like, Nana, like, what's wrong? Like, like, why can't you stand up? And she's just like, my leg, I got a cramp in my leg, and I'm just like, okay, and then and then in my head, I'm just like, because I was off work, actually, and this was a vacation day. I'm like, God dang. So, after I lifted her up and put her in that chair, I was like, God dang, feel like I'm back at work, So I was just like, and that's when it clicked. And I was just like, wait a minute. Like, I was just like, what do you mean it's your leg? She's just like, my leg, it hurt, like my leg. I was just like, but like, what do you mean? Like, what's wrong with it? And she just like, I got, a cramp, I was just like, so then I was just like, Nana. She was like, what? And I was just like, where's your date of birth? She told me her date of birth. I was just like, all right, Nana, like, what city are we in? She told me the city. But as she was talking, like, I could see, like, one side, like, more active than the other one. And it wasn't like, it wasn't like a clear facial droop. Like, I could tell that, I believe it was her, it was her left side that was pulling more, and her right side wasn't really like, active like that. And she was talking and stuff, and and then I said, Nana, repeat after me. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. And then she was like, repeat. I was just like, Nana, repeat after me. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. She was like, repeat. And so I was just like, oh, hell no. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just like, nah. So then, I told her, like, lift up her arms, hold them up, close your eyes. She held them up. I said, lift up your leg. She lifted up, lift up the other one, she lifted it up. And I'm like, so I asked her again to repeat the phrase. I was like, Nana, repeat after me. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. And she was like, Elijah, why don't you leave me alone? And then when the slurred speech, I was like, that slurred speech for her, like, she said, like, she has a thick Jamaican accent, but, like, it was more difficult for me to understand than usual. So I was like, oh, hell no. So I called up my mom and just like, hey, I think Nana's having a stroke. And then plus, she couldn't stand up, So sometimes strokes don't, like, again, with this job, like, having this sense of discernment and seeing different types of strokes, like, I know, like, just because you don't check all the like stroke tests, just so, like, the arm drift test, like, one's not like that, or you do the leg thing and one's not like that, or you have facial droop and slurred speech and all that. No, all that doesn't have to be checked off to know that, like, you're having a stroke. Honestly, when I was saying repeat after me, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and when she was like, repeat, and I can kind of tell that she was like slightly confused. I was just like, no, like, there's something going on, like, up there, like, she's having trouble, like, understanding, and that's when I called my mom. My mom was just like, all right, like, I'm like at a chief conference, like, call 911, get her, like, get her right. And I called up my guys, what I'm saying? Like, I literally called up my people's, and I was just like, hey, like, believe my grandmother's having a stroke, like, blah blah blah. And she's telling me to, like, do what I just did, and I'm like, just listen to me, like, she's having a stroke. My guys, honestly, it took them like 15 minutes to get here, and it was because the city was, like, blowing up a little bit, like, like my home fire station is only like 5 minutes away from here. So I'm just like, what the hell is going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Like, this is a stroke. You know, like I told the damn dispatch, it's a stroke. You know, like what the hell? So, I was like, fuck this shit. So I picked her up, and you know, she doesn't know what the hell's going on, and she just like, what are you doing? Wait. You know, I'm just like, Nana, just shut up. Nana, just shut up. Come on. So I'm picking her up. I'm dragging her down the stairs, bro. Not like dragging her, all right? I'm picking her up, you know, and she's doing this shit. And I'm like, Nana, you know, I'm grabbing her forearm. I'm picking her up. I'm going backwards down the stairs. I'm just like, I'm taking her my damn self, you know. So I open up my car door. Like, I'm in the garage. There's a stairwell that like leads to my garage. So I'm picking her up. And then I got her down there, and then finally the fire truck and ambulance show up, and I'm just like, yeah, man, like she's having a stroke, da da da. You know what I'm saying? Obviously they know me. They're like, yeah, definitely, because this time her like asymmetrical, like her face was getting worse, like it was pulling more to the left. So we pick her up, put her in a stretcher, and at this time, her right side was becoming more weak. So, to be honest, I felt like I catched it right when it was happening. But that's the thing, is like the most important thing when it comes to a stroke is to know when their last known well is. So I don't know, you know, last known well is like, when was the last time like she was normal? Not when you saw these symptoms or whatever, but like when was she walking and talking normally? Like I said, we all went to bed. I woke up in the morning, don't know last known normal. I just know the time that I found her, which was 8 something, you know what I'm saying? This is 3 months ago, all right? Don't get at me for not knowing the exact time right now. But once we got there, you know, I'm talking to the doctor as I'm still in my, you know, I'm in my gym clothes now, but I'm walking up to the ER. I'm telling the doctor, like, you know, everything that I just told you guys. And he's just like, yeah, you know, I think so. And, you know, he's talking to her, and, you know, her face is pulling more to the left now. And, yeah, her right side's become more weak. We get her to the ER, do a CT scan on her. She's got a blood clot on the right side of her brain, and they have to immediately do surgery on her. So we are there for hours. It's like about an hour or so goes by. They're letting us know like she's getting prepared for surgery. The doctor's gonna go in and try to basically remove the blood clot that's in her brain. And then, you know, they're like, this is like the best neurosurgeon in the area, like, you know, and he's working today, so like, you know, you guys are good. This is the best neurosurgeon that you guys that we have. So you know, about 3 hours had passed. Honestly, after like hour number 2, they were like, okay, I think they're about to get like, you know, finished up with her, you know, and stuff, and then come back and, you know, whatnot, and we're like waiting like another hour. Damn. So yeah, obviously, we were very devastated, very, like, yeah, very devastated that like that happened. And then he was like, yeah, you know, she's awake now and stuff. You know, she's able like to open up her eyes, but she can't talk at all. So he was saying that like you know, like what are her wishes, what does she wish to do, does she wish to be resuscitated, because he said the medication that they have her on um, is like increasing her blood pressure to like an unhealthy level, and with her age she's like almost 90 now, like she's 88, 89, and her birthday was going to be, you know, in October. Her birthday is in October, and this all happened in September, but you know, she was just like, yeah, she the blood pressure medication, it's going to, you know, might be too much for her heart, and it could possibly, you know, put her in cardiac arrest. And so, you know, obviously we're just like, you know, do everything that you can to keep her alive, like, you know. And yeah, so after that we went upstairs to the ICU, and we saw her getting wheeled in and stuff, and you know, she opened her eyes and stuff, and she yeah, she wasn't talkative, like she wasn't verbal. She just had her eyes open, and fuck, damn, shit. uh, um, yeah, you know, we were able to talk to her and stuff, and you know, she would nod her head, but like you could tell that she was still tired, maybe from the anesthesia, you know, nodding in and out. And yeah, you know, just telling her that goddamn, I'm trying to fucking talk. But yeah, just telling her that we love her and stuff. You know, doctor only said, you know, 2 days. So we're talking to her and whatnot, and after that, goddamn. So you know, after that, you know, my mom stayed with her and stuff. I went back home. Me and my sisters went back home. This 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 is when I figured out how to actually pray. This is, and it brings me to the story of Jesus when he knew he was going to go on the cross, and he prayed so intensely that he started to sweat blood. And this was like it's crazy that, like, you know, it's like I'm in the future, but like reliving it is like bringing this shit up. It's still crazy, like trying to like talk about it. But anyways, when I went back home and I started to pray, this was the hardest I've ever prayed for something, and this is like every fiber, like in my being and everything, was just wanting her to like be alive, and you know, to just do something to work a miracle, you know, to help, you know, like do whatever he can, like to help her live. And this was like and yeah, I've never prayed so hard in my life, but this is a state of mind where I was like, no, like this is where God wants us to be when we're praying to him. This is like the closest that we could be when we're praying to him, when we're so passionate about something and we're suffering so much from something, and we're setting all our intentions on this one thing. That like that's when he starts to work his magic, or his magic, but that's when he starts to like do what he does, and yeah, when I did that, I didn't lose hope. I didn't emotionally, like I wasn't out of control emotionally. Obviously I shed tears, but like I wasn't hysterical as like some of my family was, obviously devastated. But even like, I see this stuff every day. People die in front of me every day. Not every day, I'm sorry. But, people die in front of me pretty often. And sometimes I do think about like this call or that call. And sometimes it affects me and whatnot, but when it's your own family, yeah, that's when it really affects you. But this, he said it would be 2 days, and but yeah, I remember, calling up my mom, because I was just like, yeah, I gotta, just see what's up. Like, I can't go to bed, so I was just like, how is she doing? This and that, and I've always kind of had this feeling, obviously, that she doesn't have much time left. She's 80 something, about to be 90. So every time, man, and I would tell my friends this, I was just like, I don't know what it is, but I just have this little whisper, this voice that tells me to call her whenever I think about her. So I would call her pretty often, like at least like once or maybe twice a week. Like I said, she doesn't live with me anymore. She lives with my mom, but I would still make the time to call her, and that would make her like really happy. But yeah, I was, talking to my mom, asking her how she was doing, and she was just like, yeah, she's doing good. She can't sleep, like she keeps waking up. The medication that they got her on, it's like she'll start falling asleep and then like wake up and her heart will start racing and stuff. So, yeah. So yeah, and she's just like, she has me on speakerphone, and then I think when Nana heard my voice, I think like she started getting a little restless and stuff. My mom was just like, calm down. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? And like, obviously she could hear me like asking about her and stuff, and I knew that she knew that I was worried, but Well, my grandmother always tells me before, like, I hang up the phone or whatever. Oh my god, fucking. But what she tells me, I fucking hate how my voice sounds right now. But what she tells me, like every time, when we're about to get off the phone, is like, don't forget to pray, Elijah. Like, always pray, So, and then when my mom was like, she's looking at me all like stern, like, Ma, why are you angry? Like, Ma, why are you angry? This and that. And again, I knew that she knew that, I was worried about her. And I knew that she was trying to say, like, pray, so I was just like, I know, Nana, like, I'm praying, I'm praying. And then she was just like, and my mom was just like, oh, that made her smile. So. Oh, fuck. After that phone conversation, obviously I went to bed. Woke up the next morning, saw her, and, she started to smile. The doctor came in and stuff, and, he was just like, she's like the first stroke patient I've ever had that wakes up and smiles. And damn. And so, yeah, now she's, the only thing that she can say now is okay. Like, okay. Okay, what I'm saying? That, she could express it in emotions and stuff. So her right side's completely paralyzed. She's on a feeding tube. All she can say is okay. And then, next day comes, obviously we're still worried about her, but she's still doing good. So it's like day 3 now, and and doctor comes by and stuff, and it's just like, giving her the medications, like blood thinners to like thin out the clot, try to get the clot out or moving. And I ask him about it, about the stroke, and like how does, like, what is he doing for her, like what medications and stuff. And he was like, oh yeah, like we're giving her this and that medications and whatnot. And then I was just like, did you guys like rescan, like, her brain? Like, did you guys do another CT on the brain, like to see if this area was spreading or what, and he was just like, well, actually she's doing like way better than we expected, and he showed me the comparison, and he was just like, this part right here was where the clot was, and the computer predicted that 80% of her right side would be damaged, would be brain dead. And he said, we redid a scan, the day prior, or like, after surgery, and he was like, only 10% of that 80% is damaged. So then this is obviously where we started to have a lot of hope, and again, where the power of prayer comes in. So even though like I'm a paramedic and like, deal with all these medications, and I see and I fix people and whatnot, and have these things that I fix people up, like you can't deny the power of prayer. And when that happened, it was, but like as this was going on, like the first 2 days, like doctors were coming in and out asking like what are her wishes, like nurses just being, just very morbid, very like negative, asking my mom, is this how she would want to live for the rest of her life, like shit like that. Which it was just like, this is what you gotta know about life, man, is that people are wrong all the time. And you could be wrong in a good way, you could be wrong in a bad way, obviously, but people are wrong all the time. There are certain things that you think that you know, and then it's just like, when they turn out the way that you don't expect them to, or that they've, turned out in the past, you're like, oh shit, there's more to learn. That day, like, I didn't lose hope at all. And that's another thing with prayer. It's just having that belief that, like, and that's what I was thinking in my head. I was just like, this doc, like, he could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are wrong all the time. And that was like with Peter when he was being thrown in jail and about to be executed. And the day before his execution, he was tied up to 2 guards, and like 16 people were guarding him to make sure that he wasn't going to escape. And before all that, like, Peter was able to go to sleep because he had so much faith in God that he fell asleep. He wasn't up worried about like what's going to happen, how's God going to say, but he fell asleep. And the angel came through and helps Peter escape. But after that, like I said, the nurses were being very negative. The doctor was still not trying to, be like, let's start looking into recovery options. But around the 3rd or 4th day, we started to look into recovery options. And then they got her out the ICU and upgraded her to like a regular hospital. And then we started to look into rehabilitation facilities and got her into like a stroke rehabilitation facility. And then they said like in the first 6 months, like you'll see the most improvement. And so right now she's not 100%, but it is moving in a very positive direction. The right side that was paralyzed is starting to move now, is completely paralyzed. She was on a feeding tube. She's starting to eat now, starting to eat and drink normally. She's starting to, say more words than okay. She's still a little slightly confused, but you can have a conversation with her a little bit. So yeah, we still have a speech therapist for her and a physical therapist still going for her. I'm actually gonna visit her today. I'm on my way, like after my laser hair removal treatment. After that, and then head up out there. But yeah, she's doing good right now. She's still alive, and I'm grateful for that. She still understands me. I FaceTime her still, and again, like I see her in person. Now she's out of the rehab like facility now, because now she's like, more conscious, and she's just like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. So we got her out of there and trying to give her, the resources that she needs at my mom's house, physical therapists, nurses, speech therapists, things like that, to try and help her recover. Because the first 6 months are when you're going to see the most improvement, but she's doing pretty good. She's starting to hold herself up again. She's starting to move that right side. So, I don't know if she's ever going to be 100%, but we're trying to get her close to it. But yeah, man, that's it. I just wanted to share that with you guys, and also let you guys into my life a little bit of what's been going on behind the scenes and stuff, because I know a lot of times I don't get too personal with you guys, but I figured this is something that I should share, talking about my job and stuff, and how it actually bleeds over into my personal life. So yeah, appreciate you guys, and hope you enjoyed the video. See y'all next time. Peace.